What could you be showing me in the woods right now?
This is the side of our new house, man.
What, like a tree house?
No, like a real house. No parents, no one telling us what to do. We make the rules.
So Kings of Summer from 2013 then. For those who haven't seen it at home, it's essentially a story of three teenage boys who've grown a little bit sort of disillusioned and frustrated by their parents, as teenage boys tend to do, and they decide to leave their families behind and go and build a house in the woods to live off the land. This was picked by one of our guests, or two of our guests, should I say, Connor O'Hara and Jamie Gamache, who are the director and producer, respectively, of a British film called Kindling. Firstly, they think it's underrated and underseen, but also because it had a lot of thematic similarities with their own film Kindling.
So over on IMDb at the time of recording, it gets a 7.1. And then on Rotten Tomatoes, the critics give it 76%, and then the audience give it 77%. Financially, well, its budget was about $1.5 million. It only made $1.4 million. So I certainly think there's an argument to be made that it is underseen. And I would reckon that it is a little bit underrated as well. I really enjoy this film. There's so much that I like about it, from the performances to the script to the character development. But the main thing I want to talk about is the atmosphere that this film creates through use of colour, light, sound, the visuals. It creates such a nostalgic atmosphere. I want to be those kids building the house in the forest. It really does make you long for those simpler times and those simpler days. And in that way, it's a real great piece of escapism cinema. And you usually associate escapism with big, flashy special effects and superhero storylines, but this is a much simpler version of escapism, and it's done so effectively.
I don't think I liked it as much as you, but that doesn't mean I didn't like it, because I did think there was plenty in there to be fond of. Some great performances, like the script as well. Thought it was really naturalistic in terms of its style. Lots of good little character developments in there. Quite a lot of humour as well. What about dislikes then? Was there anything you didn't like about it?
Well, the only thing for me really is that one of the younger characters is wearing a leg cast the whole time, insinuating that he's broken his foot or sprained his ankle or something or other. But he's always climbing trees and climbing up rocks and jumping up rivers and running through fields. So I didn't really understand the purpose of the leg cast. I don't really know why he had it. So it just seemed a bit odd, and it just left me with a lot of questions, and I found it a little bit distracting.
I'd have liked a little bit more background into the characters, particularly the main character, Joe, played by Nick Robinson. What you have is, because that's underdeveloped, you don't really see why he's taken such a drastic step. So it makes him a little bit unlikable, and also doesn't make some of his motivations very clear. So overall then, what do you think? Is it underrated and underseen? Is it one or the other?
I agree with our guests in this instance. I do think that The Kings of Summer is underrated and underseen. What about you?
Mainly underseen. I think more people should see it. It's a really well-made little sort of indie film. It's probably about appropriately rated for me, but since I've been outvoted by you and Connor and Jamie, I'll give you that one, underrated and underseen.